about ankles and our feet. So we look at the foot and we have kind of some general ranges of motion. We have dorsiflexion, pulling back of the foot towards the shin. You can see I've injured this ankle, so my dorsiflexion is a little less in this foot than it is in this, in my good ankle currently. It's been a few weeks and that'll get better in time. Then we have plantar flexion. We're going to point our toes, contract our calves. Then we have pronation and supination. Pronation is when the feet turn inwards, and supination is when the feet turn outwards. So a lot of people have overpronating problems where they're wearing shoes and their feet flat and their foot tends to turn inward like this. I'm exaggerating it, but turning inwards makes the arch collapse and puts a lot of pressure on the inside of the feet. So you can wear corrective shoes that will level you out, typically have a brace or a support in the arch, puts you to more of a neutral position. And on the flip side, you can be a supinator, which means you will walk on the outside of your feet, and you have corrective shoes and inserts for that that'll put you to a more neutral position. And supports and braces, they're a great thing, especially if you're going to go do something towards especially if you're going to go and do something that's more strenuous, like a hike or a run. You definitely want something that's going to help you maintain a good neutral foot position as long as possible. On the flip side of that, you don't want to become reliant on arch supports and braces all the time, the same way you wouldn't want to walk with a cane forever or crutches forever if you've hurt your leg. Eventually you want to kind of wean yourself off of them until you need them for those more strenuous activities. So here are some exercises that are going to strengthen up your ankle stability and the whole integrity of the foot and arch, and hopefully kind of train you into being a bit more neutral of your foot position over time. So I love using resistance bands because they're really easy and fairly inexpensive and very light, and everyone can have them. And you can hold it, and of course we have plantar flexion. We're going to push against it. Okay, you're going to feel that in your calf. Cool thing about resistance band is that you can also go slightly, you can change up your angles a little bit. I can push it towards the toes a bit more, and even flex my toes into it. I can get only a few toes versus all of them, and strengthen even my toe flexion and extension. Then on the flip side, so that would mimic a standing calf raise. A lot of people do stuff like that, plantar flexion. On the flip side, we have dorsiflexion, and these muscles around the shin that people often have, they get really tired. People think they get shin splints, but it's most likely just this muscle getting fatigued over time because it's not as well trained. Shin splints are literally when you have like stress fractures in your bones, but that happens over the course of a long time, a lot of strenuous activity. So it's unlikely you got shin splints just from jogging a few times. What we can do is we can stretch those muscles and work on them by going the opposite way. So I'm going to pull the resistance band across my foot this way, and I will flex my foot up towards my knee. And that will fire off the muscles in the shin. If you've ever had shin splints, you'll probably feel, or shin splints, this will be pretty much where you feel. And again, the resistance band is awesome because you can kind of roll through it. You're not trapped within like a straight up and down. Look at how much range I can do. And they're all important. And I can change directions. And I can change resistance by pulling a lot harder, or I can make it really light. Biggest thing is going through a good full range of motion. Then on the flip side, we have our pronation and supination. I can hook a resistance band across me, and I can pull my ankle, and I can flex against it. This is also great for ankle support because you want the flexibility if you happen to roll your ankle, but this is no good if you can't get yourself back out of this. So if you're just happen to like lose your footing and your foot rolls this way, sure, I have this much flexibility, but eventually that flexibility is going to run out, and I still have weight to go onto me, and I'm going to roll my ankle. But if I have the ability to correct it by flexing these muscles against it, you can see them fixing, then not only do I have this range of motion, but if I start to get into it by accident, like I lose my footing, I can quickly correct myself and hopefully save myself from rolling my ankle. So a good way to do that, again, put the resistance band around you and flex back. Flex back. Again, you can pull down and flex across it. And of course, we're going to go the other direction as well. So we're going to go pronation, supination, pull against it, pull yourself back, pull against it, pull yourself back to neutral. So you can see my ankles go into a supinated position, and I'm going into a pronated position with it my foot turned downward, and I'm going to turn it upward. My hand is trying to mimic the movement just a little more exaggerated so you can see it. Pronated, supinated. And that'll help strengthen up the ankle and a little bit of the integrity across the arch of the foot. Along with that, we have our calf raises, we have walking on the heels, we have walking on the sides of the feet. And if you're going to do this, I recommend kind of rolling heel to toe or flicking off so you have a lot of strength with it. So it look like heel and off that pinky toe. You can walk backwards. Obviously you don't want to roll your ankle, so you want to do it controlled. I do one at a time. This is my ankle that's currently I'm nursing out of an injury, so you can see it doesn't go nearly as far, but it will, and I'll go into it, and I'll roll into the toe, and I'll roll back to the heel, and I put some weight on it, and I roll off to the toe. Then on the flip side, walk on the inside of my feet, walk on the inside of my feet, roll to my calves here, lift up. You have all different ranges of motion, and these are things that I do, a few times a week before running, before going hiking, before playing soccer or basketball, where I need my ankles to be well warmed up. And for the most part, unless I do something kind of silly, my ankles hold up pretty well. So that is 5 minutes worth of exercises to help rehab your ankles, keep them good and healthy, and hopefully start to strengthen your arch and your foot so that you can walk a little further before the arches of your feet start to hurt or the shin muscles start to hurt.